Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create these guys. So this is a zombie, but as you can see he's in a rather dapper ghillie suit. Now they don't look that scary by themselves, but trust me, when you come across one of these zombies at night, and especially if you've done something like created a custom spawn point for them in the middle of a forest, they are a bit of a shock, especially if you've never come across them before, because in vanilla DayZ, zombies just do not spawn like this at all. But when they are running, it's very, very cool indeed. So how do we do this? So let's jump on over to the code. So there's two files we really want to be looking at. There's cfgspawnabletypes and cfgrandompresets. So what you need to do is jump on over to your server. And if it's a Nitrado server like this one, you'll want to go into the file browser and you'll want to go into the mission folder, so like dayzoffline.charneris+ or dayzoffline.enoch. And if you just scroll down here, you'll find cfgspawnabletypes. So you can download that one, make a copy, open it in your favorite text editor, and then you'll also find cfgrandompresets. So download that, open it in your favorite, make a copy, open it in your favorite text editor. It may be worth going into your DB directory and downloading types as well. So I am going to be talking about that, although we're not going to be editing that particular file. Okay, so in essence, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a separate zombie group, sort of, that wears the ghillie suit and just wears the ghillie suit. So let me take a step backwards and kind of explain how your server decides what gear a zombie should be wearing. And we're using the army zombies in this example. So if you go to cfgspawnabletypes and scroll down or search for start of zombies, we've got the army zombies here. And so let's take just an average entry for zombie patrol normal flat. For some reason they called that, I don't know why. And this particular zombie, and that name refers to the skin that the zombie has, you know, how they look, because we can't change the uniform that a zombie has, you know. So a vicar zombie always looks like a vicar, doesn't he? You know, the office worker zombie always looks like that. We can add stuff to them, but we can't change that skin. So zombie patrol normal flat, in his cargo, so in the small amount of gear that zombies hold in their pockets, he will have something from the preset food army, and maybe something from the preset ammo army, and I'm going to show you what that means in a minute. And then on the outside of the zombie, the attachments that he could have on, he could have something from the preset glasses army, maybe something from the preset hats army, maybe something from the preset bags army, and something from the preset vests army. So with zombies, unfortunately, as I said, you can't change all of the clothes that they're wearing, but you can add some things to them. So we can add vests. So with army infected, it's often the like the assault vest that they're wearing, aren't they? Sometimes hunter zombies will have the hunter vests. Sometimes industrial zombies will be wearing the high-vis vest, so you can add that. You can add bags to their back. So again, often when you're in towns, you'll see zombies with hiking bags on, won't you? And then hats. Quite a few zombies have different hats as well. And now glasses they can have as well. And that's how you put head torches on zombies as well, with the glasses. So the way that ghillie suits work is they're actually classed as a bag. Funnily enough, that's why when you're wearing a ghillie suit, you can't wear a bag at the same time. And then you have the ghillie hat, which goes on as well. So what we need to do, we need to make sure that our zombie, when he spawns in, the one we want to have the ghillie suit on, always spawns in with the ghillie suit and the ghillie hat. Now, let's just jump on over to cfgrandompresets and kind of look at what these things are. So if we look at what we're going to look at, so let's have a look at vests army. So let's just copy that. So if we go over to cfgrandompresets and find the army attachment, so scroll down or do a Control F and look for it. This is the entry for that. And so what this is saying is that there's a 0.20 chance, so there's a 20% chance that a zombie that will have the preset vests army will have something, and then if they do, there's a small chance they'll have the black vest, the camo vest, the khaki vest, the olive vest. A really, really small chance, 5%, that they'll have the Smursh vest. So they'll be wearing that. Very, very small chance. And actually, while we're here, so then if you wanted to see like the food army, to see what they are, so if we could copy that like so, do a Control F, going to do a Control V. So just to kind of show you, so food army are these things. So there's a 0.1% chance, so there's a 10% chance, so a 1 in 10 chance that an infected will spawn in with something in their pockets, and that could be cola, Pepsi, Sprite, spaghetti can, baked bean cans, tactical bacon, or a canteen. But very small chances of any of those. That's why when you kill zombies, not just army, but the chances of them having stuff in their internal cargo is very low. Also, that kind of gives you an idea that the size of the internal cargo on all of the infected zombies is very small. That's why you can't give them weapons to carry or anything like that. And they won't sling a weapon on their backs like they used to a few updates ago. Alright, so let's go back to the idea of Veth's army. So let's go back to that one. Right, so there's Veth's army. So one of the things you could do is you could add the ghillie suit to Veth's army, and then you could add the ghillie hoods to the hat's army. The problem with doing that, though, is that you'll end up with some zombies that have ghillie hat and some that have a ghillie vest, and they look a bit silly if they don't have both. So instead, what we do is you create a new preset, and mine's called Bags 2 Army and Hats 2 Army. So all you do is just copy and paste one of these, delete everything apart from one line, and then give it a new name. So I've called it Bags 2 Army. And then what you do is, if you go to types.xml, for example, and do a search for Ghillie, Control F, Ghillie, and do find all in current document, you'll find all of the different types of ghillie hoods and ghillie suits. They're the ones we're interested in, ghillie hoods and ghillie suits. And you could have different colours. And so pick the colour that you want, and then in Bags 2 Army, have item name equals and put the name of the ghillie suit. So I've gone for ghillie suit woodland, and then create another attachment, so you can copy and paste that one, and call that Hats 2 Army. And then I've done for ghillie hood woodland. And the chances of these is 1.0, 1.0, 1.0. So whenever a zombie spawns that has this preset attached to them, they will always spawn with that particular preset. They will always get that stuff for them. So if we now go back to CFG spawnable types, what you'll see is, if we scroll down, where is he? There he is. What I did was I took the first zombie type, so the ZMBH Patrol Normal Autumn, and I left Attachments Glass Army the same, and I left the Veth's Army the same, but I changed the hats to Hats 2 Army and Bags 2 Army. So what this means is every single ZMBH Patrol Normal Autumn, when he spawns in, he will always spawn in with the Hats 2 Army and the Bags 2 Army preset, which means that he will always spawn in wearing the ghillie suit woodland and the ghillie hood woodland. That's going to happen all of the time. But luckily, because of the way that zombie infected spawns work in DayZ, there's lots of different army zombies. And so, the Zombie Patrol Normal Autumn, he's not every single one of them. Obviously, if I added Hats 2 Army and Bags 2 Army and replaced all of the existing Hats Army and Bags Army, every single zombie army soldier would spawn in with the ghillie suit. But I think the whole point of this is to give your players on your server that kind of adrenaline, heart-pumping moment where they go, what on earth is that, as it's running towards them. And as I said before, you could make this even more special by creating custom spawn points for these particular zombies, say in the middle of woods where you normally wouldn't come across zombies. You can imagine, you think, oh, I'm nice and safe going through this wood, maybe you're doing a bit of hunting. You can hear a deer in the distance, and all of a sudden you hear "Rawr," and this zombie, or a number of zombies in ghillie suits, come sprinting towards you, especially at night. Gosh, that could be quite scary. And you don't want loads of them spawning in like this, because it would take that experience away, wouldn't it? I always think, you want things to be rare. Now, the other thing you may want to do is you don't have to just have ghillie suit woodland. What you could do is you could mix and match. So you could do something like this. So if we copy ghillie suit woodland like that and put that down there, and copy ghillie hood woodland and put it down there, what we could do then is we could do, okay, so why don't we have ghillie suit tan as well? So we copy ghillie suit tan, carefully put that in there, and ghillie hood tan. Let's copy that and put that in. Oh, ghillie suit woodland, ghillie suit tan, ghillie hood woodland, ghillie hood tan. And then what we would do is we would change these to 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So now what would happen is when the zombie patrol normal, zombie normal patrol normal autumn spawned in, he would have a chance of spawning in with the woodland or the tan ghillie suit, and the woodland or the tan ghillie hood. Now that would be mix and match though, so sometimes he would have a woodland hat with a tan suit and vice versa. So you've got to decide, is that something you want to go for? How does that look? Does it look a bit silly? I don't know. If you wanted them to always spawn in with the same matching ghillie suit and ghillie hood, you would have to have different presets. So you'd have to say you'd have hats 3 army and bags 3 army, where they would just be the ghillie hood tan and the ghillie suit tan, and then you would go to a different zombie, and then you add it to those. Remember, it doesn't have to be the army ones. It could be the ones in the towns as well. I think maybe, the vicar, the religious zombie, would always be a good one to do, because sometimes their little churches where they spawn can be in the middle of nowhere, can't they? So they might be quite a good one to do that too. Now, what I'll do as well is I'll put a link in the description below this video to my video on how to add head torches to zombies as well, because that takes it to another level when you have a zombie not only running towards you who's wearing a ghillie suit, so you're not sure what it is, but he's wearing a head torch. Gosh, that really is a heart-thumping moment, and I think is a lot of fun. Now remember, this technique works for console just as well as PC, so you can put it on your PlayStation and Xbox Nitro servers. And once you're done with your editing, you would just save, validate online with your favourite XML validator, come back to your server, use the upload button to upload the files. They'll just go on top of the existing ones, restart the server, and pretty much straight away that chance of ghillie suited zombies will be happening. Just remember, because this is a fairly rare thing, you may, in order to test whether this is working, you might have to go around and visit quite a few military sites to make sure that it's all working. Okay, so hopefully you found this video useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.